From the Great Plains in the north to the grazing fields of the south, U.S. hides make the premium leather that is coveted in retail malls and car forecourts across the world. More than 5 million people work in the global leather industry, an industry that provides natural, organic, sustainable, recyclable, and incredibly durable material for the seats in cars and on planes, bags on our shoulders, jackets on our backs, and shoes on our feet. At its heart sits the Leather and Hide Council of America, the national voice of an industry recognized for the quality of its hides and the integrity of its supply chain. It works to help its members divert around 30 million hides from landfill every year by creating beautiful leathers for supply to customers in a $450 billion global sector. U.S. hides are prized for their quality and also their sustainability. Ongoing investment in supply chain optimization and traceability has made them the first choice for sectors from automotive and aviation to fashion and footwear. This is the story of the world's leading leather-producing nation. For thousands of years, bison roamed free across America. Today, those herds, once numbering more than 200 million head, have been superseded by just 87 million cows. Cows which supply the U.S. meat and dairy industries. Contrary to the perceptions of many, the leather industry is not underwriting the cattle industry. It is processing its waste. The figures are significant. Typically, 33 million head of U.S. cattle are processed every year, providing food for the world. Leather is a part of a global market that uses the byproducts from these cattle, from heart valves to hides, to produce high-value natural products that service the needs of society. Leather today is a force for good. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the United Nations, and the European Union all define cowhide as a byproduct of meat production, and it is a byproduct with low commercial value. The European Union provides regional estimates of the commercial value of a cow. Typically, these are higher than in the U.S., where, due to the high value of beef, that figure stands at around 1%. This means that each hide at the start of its journey to becoming leather has a low financial value, because the U.S. produces more meat faster from fewer cattle. The low value of hide is bad news for the environment. It means that it is often cheaper to incinerate or landfill a hide than to prepare and transport it for tanning. Globally, this means some 40% of all hides, that's around 130 million, are just thrown away every year. Buying U.S. hide means playing your part in cutting waste, in supporting an industry built on the efficient and sustainable use of resources, on using every part of the cow, and rendering what we cannot use. A focus on resource utilization has enabled the U.S. to drive that landfill figure down from 40% to between 5 and 15%, dependent on demand. Recovery rates that the Leather and Hide Council is working to see matched around the world. It is this commitment to waste reduction and investment in environmentally friendly tanning and shipping, along with the quality of hides from cattle living in open, low-pest environments, that means that U.S. hides are in such great demand. While the Leather and Hide Council of America's ambition is to grow the global market for leather, many manufacturers face a binary choice. Do they choose petrochemical-derived synthetics and plastics, or natural textiles such as cotton, wool, and leather? Synthetics, rebranded as performance materials by the oil industry as it works to diversify revenue streams, are cheaper. But while this may boost short-term profits, it comes at a cost to the consumer, to the planet, and ultimately to brand reputation. The results of the latest global benchmarking survey show the consistent appeal of leather, which consumers value beyond other materials, recognizing its longevity, quality, and association with luxury. It is also telling that leather goods are more likely to be passed on to friends or resold than thrown away. With 3/4 of the world's consumers buying leather and more than 10% planning a purchase in the next 6 months, the market is strong. The challenge is to ensure that demand is fulfilled and consumers are provided with the choice they need. It is a lesson that has been hard learned, but today we are seeing businesses return to leather as consumers demand quality, performance, durability, and sustainability, not low-cost, quick-fix solutions. The true cost of not using leather is to your customers and to the planet. Recognizing that product performance goes hand in hand with environmental performance, the Council, on behalf of the U.S. industry and its customers, funded an independent life cycle assessment for U.S. leather, tracking its impacts from the field to the tannery gate. It is the first of its kind to provide a true ESG footprint that is not limited, as is the case for synthetics, to the cost of production. Our belief that going back to the grass or oil fields from which the material came is the absolute minimum standard that should be acceptable. Even so, the assessment still found that the environmental footprint of leather on all key metrics is significantly lower than that of synthetics. Full, transparent, and ISO 14040 compliant assessment gives our customers confidence when choosing their textiles and reporting ESG impacts. Meanwhile, the use of synthetics, with incomplete supply chain data, introduces both the reputational risk of greenwashing and the potential financial risks of future cleanup costs. 96% of all U.S. farms are operated by families. Together, they supply 27 billion pounds of beef every year, and a lot of surplus hide. These hides are recognized for their quality and, due to farming practices, for the rarity of imperfections such as parasite and insect bites, scratches, wrinkles, and veining. Beef cattle typically spend the first 12 months grazing on the land, an increasing amount of which is managed regeneratively. This puts organic matter, carbon, back into the soil and is a process the U.S. hide industry and its customers are proud to support. From the field, many are moved for up to 6 months to open feedlots for finishing before going via auction to local slaughterhouses. Federally inspected, these facilities have some of the highest animal well-being standards in the world. Livestock are handled calmly, with pain avoided, water provided, and feed given for any held for more than 24 hours. The animal is then processed and the hide retrieved. To prepare for storage and transportation, these hides are salted or brined by being immersed in a salt solution for 12 to 16 hours. Hides are then ready to be sent onwards on pallets of 40 or shipped by container holding approximately 600. With the size and sophistication of the U.S. market, buyers can be assured of availability and of reliability in management and distribution. As a result, the U.S. ships tens of thousands of containers a year to customers around the world, with some 95% of its hides processed at tanneries overseas. It is at the tannery that the magic happens, where hides are turned into beautiful, flexible, and incredibly long-lasting materials, tailored by color, property, and finish to best suit the final products. From handbags to jackets, gloves to shoes, sofas to car interiors, chairs to airline seats. From NASCAR to UFC and NFL to NBA, leather is a crucial component in the world of sport. In every game, every competition, and every victory. Hides are split into sheets of the thickness required and then fed through a shaving machine to ensure absolute uniformity in thickness across the whole area. They are then placed in rotating drums with hot water, dyes, and tanning materials to achieve the desired color. Finally, they are treated with natural or synthetic chemicals to obtain the softness required. Excess water is removed and the hides allowed to dry. Depending on the intended use, this might be through toggle drying for upholstery leather over frames, or drying in large ovens for the fashion sector. Once dry, the leather is staked, a mechanical softening process, or milled, which sees the leather dry tumbled. Leather can then be moved onto a specialist tannery for finishing, typically defined by the customer's brand requirements. Demonstrating the true flexibility of leather, finishing sees the surface treated to give functional benefits, for example, to make it waterproof or fire retardant, and to give it tactile and visual finishes. State-of-the-art technologies are used in the coating, while physical systems deliver the final surface effect. Bespoke stamps are used to create the desired textures, from hide patterns to brand identities. Processes include the use of hydraulic presses, embossing machines, and automated spray applicators to achieve the perfect color and textural highlights. This delivers the final look, ready to be turned into the showpiece on the catwalk or the centerpiece in your home. The Leather and Hide Council of America has been promoting U.S. leather while championing quality and best practice in production for more than 100 years. Tracing its history back to 1917, it is the voice for a supply chain that takes in the farmers, meat packers, processors, tanners, and global brands who form its membership. Together, they give the scale to deliver for today's businesses, whatever their needs. Putting in place the standards that make it a trusted partner, it sets out and monitors trading, negotiates contracts and export agreements, resolves disputes, and conducts testing through the Leather Laboratory, based at Cincinnati University. It takes the global lead on setting new industry sustainability standards. Its members and partners, including the Sustainable Leather Foundation, establish, maintain, audit, and report on production and environmental protection, pushing the industry far beyond the already high regulatory requirements in the U.S. And the life cycle assessment, covering carbon emission, water use, land use, soil acidification, and human toxicity, establishes U.S. leather as one of the lowest impact materials available to businesses looking at their environmental footprint. Our material choices today are all about the life we want to live tomorrow. This has been the driving force behind U.S. leather for generations and is now the inspiration for leather users and buyers around the world today and the designers of tomorrow. To reduce your carbon footprint, cut waste, enhance biodiversity, and contribute to the well-being of the planet, look no further. U.S. leather helps build brands that stand the test of time. The Leather and Hide Council of America enables business to be done with absolute confidence, with a partner and an industry trusted to deliver.